being joined by the Executive Governor of Nasarawa State, Governor Abdullahi Sule. Thanks so much, Your Excellency, for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Sharon. It's my pleasure.
Before we get into too deep into other issues, I'd like to, today, the chairman of INEC is saying there is no going back on the issue of transmitting the result, of uploading result on INEC portal. There was a press conference about 3 days ago where the CUPP, the coalition of political parties, are accusing your party that your party is scared, that your party is all out to rig the elections, and that your party is already making plans to do this. Why do you think there is this perception? I mean, this is an allegation, a very heavy and weighty one. Why do you think there is a perception that your party is jittery of losing this election?
No, first and foremost, the party is not jittery, but the people speak, and it is normal. When PDP was actually the ruling party, PDP had always been accused of being the biggest rigging machine. So now APC is winning election. Today we have 20-something number of states. So what you expect is that people are also going to make the same accusation. We are the same Nigerians. Nigerians have not changed. So we are going to say also it is rigging the party. I had a candidate in my state. He had never won election. And every time he lost election, they rig it against him. So he said they rig it. Within his party, if you lost primaries, they rig it. The general election, if you won, so it's just normal thing for Nigeria. But if you want to know, there is no amount of fear whatsoever, within the party. I have not seen it when we are discussing at the Progressive Governors Forum meeting. I have not seen it when we are discussing within the leadership of the party. I have not seen it when we are discussing with the president of the country, who is the chairman of even the campaign council we have. So it's a perception. It's just what Nigerians...
Is it a perception, Governor Sule, considering the recent polls that have put your party very low in the rankings and put perhaps the Labour Party candidate higher than your party? And this is a party that has really not done so much in the last 2 election cycles. Is it also perception that your party lost election in Osun State? Is it also perception, Governor, that perhaps your party did not perform in terms of number in the last election cycle?
No, it is a perception. Let me start with the first one you mentioned. You see, polls election, social media election is quite different from the practical election. I will tell you, and it happened in my state. And it's a good example that you are given example with Labour Party. Labour Party had their flag off in my state, in Lafayette, the state capital. We gave them actually a venue, in Lafayette. The venue was a secondary school football field because we didn't have the stadium ready. We didn't have the other center ready. There was nobody there. It was not full. Not even 50% of that is full. That's the same party that they say will win election. Today, in Nasarawa State, you can go and check it on your own. Who is the candidate of Labour Party in Nasarawa State? I'm not saying it with disrespect. You will not see him anywhere. I don't even know his name. This is the party that is winning. So I think social media thing is quite different. Right?
Local elections, you're referring to local elections?
No. Okay.
Because, we're talking on the national stage.
I will take
For example, in Ibadan today, you saw the Bayo Adebanjo, who came, this perhaps one of those few times you will see a leader of a social-cultural group coming publicly to campaign for a particular candidate and a particular political party.
I think he has already said that over and over and over that he was going to be with OB, so there is no surprise. I don't know who will be surprised. I'm not surprised. I don't think anybody in APC leadership will be surprised. He clearly mentioned that. The same thing, if you look at it, some of the Afenifere leaders have also identified with Asuwaju. So if Asuwaju will go to Ibadan maybe tomorrow, the same people may come out and campaign for him. So you see, this is political period. All kinds of things will happen. Talking about gathering, are you going to compare that with what has happened in Lagos? Are you going to compare that with what happened in Kano? I was in Kano together with Asuwaju. It took us 5 hours from the airport to the government house. There is nothing close to that is there in Ibadan today. So I think, and all that is not the politics yet. That's why I say what you see today is not even anything yet, because this election is going to be one man, one vote, and that's what APC is looking forward to.
So, I mean, apple for apple, oranges for oranges. If you make comparison between your candidate, Bola Tinubu, and the other candidates on the bill, how would you describe? Would you say your candidate is better? Of course, that's what you say. But how would you tell Nigerians that he's better? What would you say, and how will you describe? What are the characteristics that make your candidate better than the other candidates?
250,000 things. Today, the former governor, the current governor of Anambra State, where Peter Obi was governor, is the right person who will tell you what has happened during the period of Peter Obi. Today, I'm in a better position to tell you what and what, because I have the files in front of me. I have the numbers in front of me. What Tanko Almakura did compared with what you see on the pages of newspapers. So if you go back now to Anambra, look at what the governor of Anambra, they were in the same party. It's not that they changed party. It's Peter Obi that changed party, but it's the same Abga. So if you go and see what he is saying today about Peter Obi, you will not buy Peter Obi Tenkobo. And this is what is happening. So what other people who don't have any idea with what is happening are saying is quite different. Now, are you having the same thing with Aswaju and the governors who came after him in Lagos? Is Lagos better looking today than Anambra? Yes or no? Is the economy of Lagos better today than Anambra? Yes or no? I mean, it's like day and night. There is no comparison. So when you say I should compare, what am I comparing?
So what would you tell Nigerians, for example, that your party, because what you basically will be telling Nigerians that, oh, vote for our party and vote for Bola Tinubu, our candidate. But how would you impress it on them? What will you be telling Nigerians tonight? I mean, you should be able to tell them that your life is better than we met it, isn't it?
Well,
or you tell them, don't worry, we'll make it better anyways.
But let me tell you a lot of things that so many people have no idea has happened. You just earlier on, I was listening to you discuss about the economy. You discuss about what happened actually between 2015 to date and a little earlier than that. Nigeria made the highest money in oil and gas, in petroleum, between the years 20, go and check your Google. You will see that we made the highest 2011, 2012, and from there it started coming down. We made like 109 billion. Okay, dollars in 2011, 108 billion or so in 2012. From there, it started coming down to about 90, 70. When Buhari came to power, it came down as low as less than 30 billion US dollars that we had made in the year. So that is talking about the economy. So, and for the years that Buhari was there, we had not seen 1 month where we had made 60 billion US dollars. Now, check and see what Buhari has done. Check and see what Buhari has borrowed. Compare the numbers with the numbers that we have earned from the sales of crude oil. While we're talking about oil and gas, since that's the main reason why I'm here, you can ask somebody to Google for you and send you the numbers, and you can see exactly what I'm talking about. So these are the issues. So sometimes people are comparing apples and oranges. They are not looking at the facts.
So, Governor Sule, you're saying that the only excuse that we have is because there was a dwindling in earnings. That's the reason why you are not able to perform.
No, performance is better. We have done more infrastructures with the little we receive than we have seen infrastructures between 2011 and 2015. There are more infrastructures today than they were done.
Because you're a scientist. So now I allow you to speak to the numbers. Okay. What would you say about the indices that are at the center of our economy? The inflation figure, the unemployment figure.
Well, you ask a former presidential candidate here to tell you inflation rate, he didn't tell you. You see, because if somebody is trying to drive the inflation is a factor of so many other issues. It's a factor of income, it's a factor of population, it's a factor of demand. So you have so many things that make up, So if your income is weak and the buying power is also weak, and people that you are paying, they are getting the same thing. I'll give you a good example. When I left Dangote as the group managing director of Dangote Sugar, we were selling sugar roughly 9,000 naira, pay 50 kg back. At the time, people were making already roughly 30,000 naira pay the minimum wage. Today, they are selling 150 kg bag of Dangote sugar, 30,000 naira, the same as the amount of the price. Who do you blame for that? So it's a combination of so many factors.
So because the reason why I'm asking you,
yes.
I'm asking you this question because you need to now tell Nigerians, and I'm asking you how you'll be able to explain it. Because if the indices have now been doubled, are the circumstances that bad, that they are as bad as doubled in the worst scenarios, to the point that you are leaving, or your government in these last few years will have left almost these indices quite double the number of where they met it. And that's why they will ask you, when you came into office, the PDP had even accused your party, leave Nigeria the way you left it in terms of the prices of commodities.
Yes, we will leave Nigeria the way we meant it by the grace of God. Today, we have seen production moving up. When they left, they were producing 2.2 to 2.5 million barrels actually per day. Today, with all the issues that we are facing, we are narrowly producing 1.2 to 1.3 million barrels per day. So we will leave the country. By the time Muhammadu Buhari hands over to Aswaju, we will leave the country back at 2.5 million barrels per day, and you will see what is happening in this country. The inflation rate will go to single digit by the grace of God, and then all these other numbers, look at what exactly
Between
happened.
now and next year, that will happen?
Tinubu is going to rule this country for another 8 years.
You sure he's going to win?
By the grace
what gives
of God,
you that confidence?
By the grace of God, he's going to win. All the factors, everything looking forward is showing that Tinubu is going to win.
I'll take you to, because I know you're an expert in that area, I'll take you to the oil field that was launched. So the question is, why should Nigerians be happy?
Nigerians should be the happiest people that what has happened yesterday. Matter of fact, when I watch the program that you were having yesterday on the Kolmani field, I felt bad, and I say, oh boy, let me actually be there so people will understand what has happened. Nigeria has two kinds of development when it comes to the licenses they are given. They have what they call the Oil Prospecting License, OPL, and they have what they call the Oil Mining License, OML. Now, in Nigeria, we have the belts where oil is found. And you have so many of them. Outside the Niger Delta, you have the belt actually that you call the Benue Trough. Benue Trough actually begins in Calabar, in Cross River, let me put it that way. It comes all the way through Benue, through Ogoja, Benue, and then it comes to Nasarawa, going back to Plateau. From Plateau, it terminates as Lower Benue Trough and begins to be an Upper Benue Trough. At the end of this trough, that is where Kolmani is. That's where 1 billion barrels of oil is found. Now we are beginning to look like Saudi Arabia. Most of Saudi Arabia production that are huge fields, and by the way, this Kolmani has 1 billion barrels of oil reserve for now. That's what is confirmed for now. The upside potentials could lead it to more than 1 billion. And that is the reason why you found a company, an investor that is willing to do what you call a full a development on the on the entire field. That means an integrated field development. He's going to do refinery, he's going to do fertilizer, he's going to do chemicals, he will generate power, he will now produce his oil and separate the oil from gas to do the other things, because there is also a gas reserve in the same site. So we are lucky. It's not Nigerian money. It's an investor that is bringing in $3 billion of his to invest in that. And the investor does not have equity even in the block 809 and 810. Okay? So now these are the issues. So for him to come and do this full integrated field development, and the best thing that is going to happen to Nigeria is that we are now, all these fields that we are discovering along the Benue Trough, into the Lake Chad Basin, now along also the Anambra Basin, along the Benin Basin, along the Sokoto Basin. If we are going to do integrated field development in every one of them, Nigeria is gradually becoming you know, a countries like Saudi.
You know, the reason why a lot of people criticize and they were very skeptical about this is that when you visit Saudi Arabia, for example,
yes,
you visit Qatar and
yes,
some other countries
yes,
that are producing,
yes,
will probably have the same whatever, and they will ask you, they're better off in terms of development.
Definitely.
Leadership and corruption issues are bedeviled our own potential.
I agree with you 100%. I'm not doubting you in that area. I will not say anything negative to that. You are perfectly right. But you see, before you go to the extent of saying that you need to even have what you call the upside potentials, even outside that, you see, today in Nigeria, when you are talking of 1 billion barrels, you find it only maybe in the offshore. You find the fields like the Agbami, like the Bonga, like the Erha. These are the kind of fields that are offshore that are having 1 billion barrels. Today you're having 1 billion barrels here. The upside potentials of the discovery around Kiana is another 1 billion barrels that we're having. So what you are talking about are two different things. The technical aspect of this production, the potentials of this production, the aspect that this production is going to benefit Nigeria, the security aspect of it, that outside the shallow waters and outside the Niger Delta, Nigeria also, not Gombe, not northern Nigeria, but Nigeria as a whole now has the potentials to do this integrated production. This is my excitement about it. So the next line you're talking about is idea of corruption. How do you manage that? I do agree with you. We need proper leadership that understands this, that appreciates this, that cares about Nigerians. And it's not, when we talk about leadership, it's not just one person. Muhammad Buhari happens to be a fantastic human being, but he's just one person. So if people around him are not Muhammad Buhari-like, we are still going to go to square one. So this is the issues that I'm saying. So my excitement and my appearance and my discussion is purely on the technical aspect of it, the economic aspect of this block, the importance it is to Nigeria, the value it is bringing to Nigeria, and the new frontier we have just opened, that you can actually have a integrated field development, and you will have another company outside Nigeria that is showing interest to do that. That is a great thing for Nigeria.
Thank you so much for speaking on this one. I appreciate it. I mean, you've spoken in just a very, you've laid it bare. Thank you so much indeed. Always a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you very much.
Sule.
Thank you so much.